So we'll just count the show in, and we'll just have a conversation. Yeah, we'll have a jam session.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, look at that. Number 12. Nice.
12. It's you. Good number.
Hey,
I still don't know who got the chases. No, those just kind of disappeared.
I don't think anybody,
Mark and I sold them.
Yeah, I sold them.
Yeah.
They got scalped.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not going
We
to...
made $3 off each of them.
I'm not going to ruin the surprise, Derek, but that's not the only creeper van that you're going to get this week.
Oh, you're sending me another one?
Maybe.
I'm going to develop an obsession for creeper vans then, I guess.
We'll see.
Nice.
Do you like candy?
All right.
Oh, yeah. Fried.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2.
Sorry.
Well,
that's wrong.
Oh man, we get slap happy after 9 p.m. All right,
We're all new at this.
in 3.
I gotta pee really quick.
All right.
Hey,
Crap.
Hey, Mark, make sure you wipe.
We don't have
before you
time.
sit down.
He's going off the back deck. He's not even going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Don't forget to wipe the seat before you sit down.
Yeah.
Mark.
You didn't bring your Mountain Dew bottle with you? Mark?
Yeah.
Right.
This jug,
I've already peed twice during the show.
man.
It's
So
just right there. Just got the loose body.
your body.
I got pay, Jenny.
Mhm.
So how are we going to do this, Chuck?
We'll have it be, David, Mark, me, and then we'll have Derek drop his favorites. So he gets to comment on everybody else's drop. So, like it's
Hang on,
hot.
let me get the TWYCE cam set up.
Oh boy, we got the TWYCE cam.
Make sure that points in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it away. Nothing like a little bit of feet pics. La 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 la, David TWYCE Diecast. There you go.
Too low?
Down a little more, David.
You gotta get one of these.
There you go.
They're cool. Say one of
Shut-
these.
Just shut up.
Where do you buy those at?
Yeah, I was
eBay.
just
From China. This one feels it's weighty.
it's weighty.
Nice. It seems weighty. Yeah, it's weighty. It's nice. It has like the outer, like it spins on this axis here.
The only problem I would have with it is that for photographing and stuff, it's kind of a busy background.
Yeah, well,
At least
David's
it's black
kind of
and
a
white.
busy background.
All right.
We're all new at
3, 2.
You're watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
Well, hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to Diecast Breakdown. We are so excited you are here, and I am joined, as I always am, by my co-host, Mr. David Johns.
Hey, Chuck. What's up, everybody?
And Mr. Mark McDaddy.
Hey, Chuck. What's up, everybody?
Hey. New name every episode. I love it.
why
And
not?
we are so excited because we have once again got Derek, Mr. Honest Diecast himself, is in the house. Derek, how you doing today?
Hey, Chuck. How's it going, everybody?
Fantastic. Well, we are so excited to have Derek back in the house. He's joined us on a couple of lives, but we've got him on a special interview version because we're actually going to get to know the man behind Honest Diecast and why it's called Honest Diecast and why, honestly, you should subscribe to Honest Diecast if you haven't already. But before we get into that, I wanted to thank our patrons who make this show go, especially our executive producer level patrons. That would be First and 64th Customs, Donald Rashick, Video Geek Productions, and of course, Mr. TWYCE Diecast himself. Thank you very much, all of you, and to all of the patrons and members who give us a little bit of scratch to pay for the things that keep the lights on around here. All right, well, like I said, we got Derek here today. Derek is hanging out with us. We're going to be talking to him about his channel, his life in Diecast, and we'll be talking about the end of the year because we are at that point of the year where you start getting a little wistful, a little nostalgic, a little reminiscent of the dollars spent as the year went by and the wonderful new castings you brought in. So be sure to stick around for that. But first, I've got to ask the question that I'm sure everyone asks when they visit Honest Diecast, and that's why the heck is it called Honest Diecast, Derek?
That's an excellent question, Chuck. So I decided to call my channel Honest Diecast from my Facebook group. My Facebook group is actually Honest Diecast Collectors and Customizers, which came before my YouTube channel. So it was more of a mirroring of that. But I guess the great answer to all of it is, why is it Honest Diecast? And that would be, it's honestly about the cars. It's not about anything else. It's not about any kind of monetary value. It's not about diecast investing or anything like that. It's a group, and it's a culture made for people that just love the cars and care about the cars.
Well said. I was curious because I was like, well, it's either something about the purity of the hobby, or it's like Honest Eddie's used cars or something. Like, come on down and get a special bargain on some honest used diecast. So that's really cool. So tell me about that Facebook group. Like, was it just something that you kind of came up with to sell cars, or was that just like, what was the methodology behind that?
Well, when I first got into the hobby, thanks to your co-host over there,
Mm-hmm.
when I got into the hobby, I started joining Facebook groups and watching YouTube videos, hunters, collectors alike. And I just realized the common theme with it all. It seemed like a lot of people were concerned about money with the whole thing. A lot of people hunt in stores and filling their carts with the same car, like 20, 30. And it just didn't jive very well with me, and I didn't like it. But the more I was around, the more I looked around, the more I saw it. But also I saw a lot of people that didn't like it. So I kind of knew where I fell right away. I didn't really care for it. So, but looking in the Facebook groups and stuff like that, I noticed a lot of those people would get, kind of shamed, called crybabies and stuff like that. And it didn't seem like they had a place to voice their concerns about the hobby. So that's what really ultimately led me to, hey, I'll start a Facebook group. I'll make a home for people that genuinely care about the cars and don't like to see those kind of things.
Yeah, I like that. And I get it, because I don't think you can lose faith in humanity faster than going to the big Hot Wheels collector group on Facebook, the one that has like over 100,000 members, and just
there's like a Discord one too.
It's
quickly.
It's very easy to get disheartened, because it's like you said, there's the people posting, oh, I went through and bought every single one of the Barbie Dream Vets. I'm like, why? It's a mainline car. It's not worth anything. Yeah.
Oh,
and you're making, and they're like, well, it is now that I've bought all of them, and I'll sell one to you for $5. And then people would do it. They would take them up on it. I'm like, no, don't do that. But it's this whole perceived scarcity thing. Like, it's funny to me because Super Treasure Hunts are like, they make 25,000 of them. There are a lot of Super Treasure Hunts out there, and if you go into any Walmart that has any Auto World or Johnny Lightnings on the pegs, and they'll say one of 1,400 or one of 2,500 or one of and some of the M2s are even like one of 900 worldwide, and there'll be 3 of them sitting there, and nobody will care unless they're a chase piece. So it's just it's all in the perception.
If somebody wants something really, really rare, if they like chases that are rare, think about Auto World Ultra Raws. One of 10 pieces per mix of each car. That's as rare as it gets, and you can find them in the store, which is crazy. But if that doesn't suit your fancy, you got all these great premium 164 lines coming out, and a lot of them have chases. Kaido House, Mini GT, they all have chases. So
Tarmac Works.
Yeah, exactly. Tarmac Works. And what makes Super so rare and hard to find are exactly what you said, Chuck. The guys that go out and they hunt every day, every night, and take them all. That's what makes them rare. Is that it only takes one collector to clear a store of them all. So
it's true.
You know what I like, Derek, about your channel? When we've all watched you pull a Super, and that's some of the best footage in our hobby is your pure joy. But I think that one of the underrated parts of all those peg hunt videos that you've done is, one, showing people that a little patience will pay off. Look, I went out of town to California, and here's that premium box set that you thought was completely unavailable, and you were thinking about paying $100 for it. Don't do it. And then number two,
you remember that one? That's an old one.
I do remember that. And you
Nice.
you say it in your video. You say, "Don't overpay, guys. It's out there. Just wait. Just be patient." And I think that's such good advice because, man, our hobby is so bad about the hype train, and like you feel like you're just gonna miss it and never see those cars again. But that's not the case.
Yeah. The FOMO is for real, and yeah, that's always been a message too. Is just wait. Go through your progressions. First step, get out there and try to find it. Second step, if you can't find it, then network. Try to make friends that'll look out for you, and of course, you got to return the favor and look out for them as well. 3, see if you can trade for it. And if you can't find anybody that wants to trade for it, if you don't have anything that's worth giving, worth taking, nobody wants to take you up on it, then resort to looking into secondhand market. Secondhand market should always be your last resort.
There you go.
Very true. Mic drop indeed. The other thing too is, like you said, there's cycles, and you might think, oh well, I missed this case. Like we've moved on from, that was a D case super, and now we're in H case or something like that. And guess what? Dollar Tree's gonna get the old cases, or they usually get older cases, or Dollar General will get older cases, or even Walmart's will get stuff that I'm like, wow, these were 6 months ago we were putting these out, and they just put a new case up that's all old H cases or something like that. And then you can always go to the flea markets, and it is secondhand, and it is the secondhand market and diecast shows. But even at those, you're going to find things for cheaper than if you tried to buy them on Mercari or eBay or Facebook Marketplace. And the wild thing that I see now with everybody buying stuff through Facebook and paying people through friends and family on PayPal. And, I appreciate that there's people like the Scammer Slayer out there, doing reference checks for people and trying to keep that honest. But, like I said, there's groups out there with like 100,000 people in them. You can't keep track of all of them, and they've got new scammers joining every day. So, it just kind of can really wear you down. So that was actually one of the reasons why I have liked the YouTube community so much, is because, on YouTube, people feel a little more, for lack of a better word, honest. They feel more zen about things. Like, there is still that hype machine. There are still the ultra hypey hunt videos out there, but you get more of the customizers and more of the legacy and high end collectors and the vintage collectors and stuff, the people that really kind of take their times with their collections and are more interested in sharing the knowledge of what they have rather than just the I've got it and you don't.
Amazingly so, Chuck, and I agree 110%.
Be back with more Diecast Breakdown after this word from our sponsors. The day of giving has come and gone, but the Diecast season of giving continues. We're halfway to reaching our goal of donating 20,000 cars around the world to kids in need. All you need are brand new and packaged Diecast cars and a local charity of your choosing to join in. Help us put smiles on the faces that need it most. Learn how you can join in and submit your donation to be counted at drivendreams.org. Let's end the year strong.
Hey, this is Larry Wood, and you're watching Diecast Breakdown.
Diecast Breakdown would like to thank Diecast Heroes Magazine for supporting this program. Diecast Heroes Magazine is the premier digital and print resource just for diecast customizers. Visit diecastheroes.com and see what the best customizers in the world are up to. Here's this week's small channel shoutout.
Miniature Mustangs.
If you have a favorite Diecast channel with less than 700 subscribers and you'd like to see them highlighted on a future episode, email us at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com. The Diecast Media Network store is here. Wear your passion with pride, featuring designs from Diecast Breakdown. flying Valiant builds, plus unique designs inspired by diecast culture from Justin Ellis. Visit tpublic.com/diecast media network now.
Hey, this is Chad Reed from Round 2, and you're watching Diecast Breakdown.
And now back to Diecast Breakdown.
And anybody who creates a YouTube channel, I've had a lot of people ask me, how to get started, what to do, what to get, all that kind of thing. What advice do I have? And one thing that I always recommended was be multifaceted within diecast. Don't just focus on being a hunter. If you like to customize, show that off too. It pays to be multifaceted. Not in a monetary sense, but just in the soul aspect. Because there's going to be times where you go out there and you hunt the stores and you're not going to find a damn thing, but you can go home and sit at your customization station. That's what I call my area, and just crank out customs. Do that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. There's going to be dry spells, and we've seen you crack some droughts with some pretty significant pulls, and but you're right, like to end that drought by sitting in your shop and polishing a car. I mean, there's not a lot of things that are more therapeutic than that.
Yeah. What do you always say, Mark? Something about polishing a car that calms me down. Calms me down. Yeah. Calms me down. And something to just throw out there. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people think that Honest Diecast, the YouTube channel, is primarily focused on hunting and is a hunting channel in general. But one thing people don't realize is my first 5, 6, 7 videos were customization videos. So technically it's a customization based channel first and foremost. So
it's a one-stop shop for all your diecast needs.
Hey, wait a second.
Hey, that's a higher jingle. I like it.
Don't go to other channels. Just go to Honest Diecast.
Go to everybody. Yep.
Man, John's over here.
Jingle.
Yeah.
Jump in there, Mark.
Jingles like I do. Derek, what do you foresee your channel like? So I know it's kind of shifted a little bit, like hunting, probably less hunting, more customizing, like your first love. What do you foresee your channel kind of the content coming out with in the next, like, I don't know, couple of years? Do you see it going on for many years, or what is your channel kind of like? What's your goals for the channel?
Yeah, I gotta say, that's a great question. I've recently started doing a lot of model reviews. I've paired with Diecast 164, doing a lot of model reviews. Very little Hot Wheels, mostly premium 164, like Mini GT, Tarmac, and stuff. And I really enjoy it, to be honest with you. And I kind of blame David, because David, he's for one, David, if I remember right, David was the first person that sent me my first Tarmac ever.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
Me too.
And for two, see, what a friend.
You got
David,
a friend,
you're welcome.
Me.
Thank you. David is so good at model reviews. He really brings a soul and a presence, and you can just really feel, I don't know what it is about you, David. You can really feel the joy of looking at a model that you really like, that you can't find in a store, but you can find it online and purchase it right then and there.
There is something like I like finding the hard to get stuff that not everybody has, and that's really all it is trying to make sure that everybody knows what all is out there. And to your point about sending you and Chuck and Mark premiums, if I'm going to be addicted, I'm taking every one of y'all with me. I'm not going down by myself. So that there's no altruism in my method.
We're down here in the well with you now.
That's right.
Congratulations, you win, David. Just on that side note, I just filmed an hour and 20 minutes worth of model review footage for my upcoming episode, and I just got another box. So I'm super excited to do it. It's a brand new passion.
No, that's awesome.
Hey, congratulations on that partnership, by the way. That's really cool.
It's really cool.
Thank you, Shane.
It's an endless hobby. You know, there's avenues everywhere. So, like, you know, when people get burnt out of, you know, a lot of people get burnt with Hot Wheels. They say, you know, there's nothing on the shelves. There's endless avenues on what you can do. Like with the premium stuff, you're going to spend less in the long run. We've talked about that before. With some of these stuff, you're paying $20 for something you buy and it ships right to your door in a week or two. And you have it. You don't have to fight a small child in the aisle like I've done in the past. And, you know, then the cops show up and, you know, there's security and stuff like that. So
kid's like, I've got it. And in his hand, he's just going to zoom in and he's like, Mark fooled me again.
Thanks. You know what it's worth, kid. Right, yeah. Here's a zoom in.
That's super well said, Mark. And I agree. And yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to pair up with somebody who's pretty small, like fairly small and up and coming. Actually, you know, a fair amount of people know about Brad and Diecast 164. But the really cool thing is, you know, two guys trying to help each other, you know, just kind of a scratch my back, scratch your back mentality. And Brad, he runs the business by himself. And he's been looking for avenues to help with promotion and help with sales. He has the same dream that all of us pretty much have, and that's to be able to do diecast full time. He's just looking at it in a retail aspect, which is completely fine. You know, he's a legitimate business. But it's a really cool opportunity. And if the opportunity ever comes up for anybody, I'd highly recommend looking into it.
Yeah. And, you know, and it's good for them too, because I made my first purchase from them because of his partnership with you, and he offered a discount code, save me a couple of bucks, and kind of showed him the value of partnering with you. And I got a couple of Kaido houses. I'm looking forward to that Chevy Silverado coming my way pretty soon.
It's pronounced Silverado, Chuck.
Silverado.
I don't want to correct you.
Silverado.
Silverado.
Tomato, Silverado.
Yeah, I think that's very cool. Like that we've had there it is. I'm getting the white one with the red, orange, and yellow stripes on it because I like to collect cars with red, orange, and yellow.
You know what's sad? I think that livery is absolutely beautiful. It's like it looks very, how do you say, in the time frame of that truck. It's 1983. It kind of looks like an 80s livery.
70s, early 80s, yeah.
It looks retro. A lot of people hate that livery, and I think it's absolutely amazing. I think this one is my favorite one, but that one is definitely a close second. Definitely.
Sure.
It fits, I like the time frame for sure.
Yeah, well, and two, it's also the old Toyota racing livery was red, orange, and yellow.
Yeah.
So I think some people think of that as well, which, you know, I mean, I think of the old Baja trucks, the Toyota had in the 80s, the off-road or whatever they were called. I always think of like Super Off-Road, the arcade game that was kind of based on those trucks. I think one of the versions of it actually had the Toyota truck on the side of it, the picture. So there is that nostalgia factor for it for me too. It's also, you know, that's why it's the primary colors of the Flying Valiant builds was red, orange, and yellow, because I just like that kind of retro style. And the brands partnering with us, I think that's really cool. I'm seeing like M2 just did a thing where they partnered with another creator to do a new release. We just had that really weird Twilight Zone moment where Chad over at Round 2 was wearing a Diecast Breakdown shirt while he was doing the latest unveiling of the November cards, which was super cool. So it's really kind of cool seeing how, especially with like YouTube and Instagram, it's really kind of leveled that access that you used to have. It used to feel like, you know, they're over there doing their thing, and I have no way of knowing who works there and what they're doing and what cars are coming out, or who I would talk to about them, or like, are they even listening to us at all? Or are they just kind of making up whatever they want and putting it out there? And that's changed so much. And that's, you know, again, part of why this channel exists was to kind of pull that curtain back, because I always love seeing the behind the scenes, like who's doing these things, who's coming up with, oh, we're going to do the 85 Toyota pickup, or we're going to do the vintage Audi 100 or whatever. It doesn't, you know, whatever the car is, why did they pick that? Was there a motivation behind that? Did the brand ask them to do that? Is it something that was personal to them? And I think it was really like learning about Ryu Asada was when I really started getting interested in the designers, because he would throw all those Easter eggs in his cars, like the stethoscope in the back of was it the 944 or the RX-7 that had the stethoscope?
944.
It was the 944 that had the stethoscope in it. Yeah. And so that like really started making me ask, like, what are some of the stories behind these cars? And it's really cool to talk to these guys and hear about the Easter eggs they put in stuff and the thought that goes into them. And then to be able to talk to on the supply side, like people like Freddie Boggs over at House of Cars that are, also helping shape the hobby by having events and the people hosting racing events like Junkyard Joust. And it's just kind of so cool to see them all start coming together and be like, hey, Junkyard Joust, you should go set up at the Hot Wheels show and do a thing. Or, hey, Freddie, we're going to get you in touch with this person. Or we just had, we freaking set up Mark set up Jakarta Diecast project meeting with Felix. That was so cool. Jakarta and Tarmac Works are talking now, and and that's because we're out there talking to people, and I think that's just a super cool thing. Not to toot any of the 4 of our horns, but we're like the people that are out there and are willing to put themselves out there.
Toot it,
we're getting results.
Toot it,
because the people that are doing this are just as passionate about it as we are, and they want to talk to us. And, we're just realizing, hey, if you knock, they'll probably answer. They're waiting on green light to answer, but maybe someday.
Yeah. Who? That's one of the things that's so great about you guys is that you guys took the initiative to be that bridge between customer and supplier. So, Tarmac is great at listening, but, that could be because of you guys for being that bridge. You guys have done so much as far as bridging manufacturers with customers, just making that connection a little closer.
Well, thank you. And again, it's really just about going, hey, these brands that you hold up in esteem and all that, like they're people too. Like they're people like Brendan Vituski, who's wrenching on his Firebird in his garage that just happens to also be a casting for a very popular Hot Wheels car. And these teams like Round 2 where you think, oh, well, that's a big brand. And it's like, yeah, but they're a team of like, 10 or 15 people. And then the whole company itself is like maybe 30 people. So, it's not like the weird chasm of going, oh, well, this big brand won't listen to me, or this, Hot Wheels won't listen to me. Like Hot Wheels is $1 billion brand. Well, there's still people too, and they actually do like talking to us. We just talked to Larry Wood, and that was just like mind blowing because I didn't know that for 20 years he was Hot Wheels. He was the designer. Like it wasn't that there was a team of designers. It was just him, and it was just because he wouldn't leave. That was just wild to hear him talk about. But, and again, super cool that he was just like, yeah, sure, we'll talk to you. I don't care that you don't have 3 million subscribers or you don't have a huge following or a backing of a professional company, that you're 3 guys that are doing this in your free time. The opportunities are there. And that's the big takeaway that I want people to have from this is get involved, talk to people. Because you'll be surprised the kind of things that can happen if you put yourself out there. And a lot of people think, I can't do this. I can't be that person that puts myself out there. No one will listen. And that may be true. It's so easy to try now. Why not try? And try it for a while. And if you do it, great, And if not, you can always say you did, and you've got a great story to tell.
Reminds me, Derek, of you kind of educating everybody that, hey, you can actually talk to Target employees. They're not robots. You can be nice to them, and you can say, hey, you got anything in the back? I'll help you put it on the shelf if you bring it out for me. It never hurts to ask. And
it's crazy. They're people too, living, breathing people. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Little niceness goes a long way. And it's the same thing that we are hopefully showing you viewers as well, is that all we're doing is we're reaching out and talking to our favorite brands because we want to get to know them and share them with you. And amazingly, they are people, and they love talking about their jobs, which they are very proud of, and rightfully so. So,
exactly. Yeah, you guys said it perfect. I mean, just going back to the manufacturing thing, the companies that build these cars for a living, I couldn't picture anybody getting into that profession and just not liking it. It's not like you go to a 4-year college and get a degree in diecast and just do it for the rest of your life and like, man, gotta make good money, but I really don't like this. I mean, you gotta have passion and and drive and just be totally intrigued by the hobby in general. And then going back to the store employees, they're, kind of like the same thing. It's along the same line. They work 9 to 5, some of them work part time, whatever it may be. They're people too. And they have one of the hardest jobs to do, which is retail, customer facing roles. Mark and I know about that a lot too, because we were in the same profession for a while, and it's difficult. Sometimes you get some really bad apples that just totally ruin your day. And it's like, this guy wants Hot Wheels. He wants me to stop doing what I'm doing for Hot Wheels. No. But then you get those ones that completely go out of their way for you just by being nice, even if they say no, just be like, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. I'll see if tomorrow's a better day. Maybe they'll be less busy. Maybe they'll be in a better mood. Maybe they'll want to help some more. And if they do go out of their way for you, just reciprocate that appreciation, not monetary. I'm not saying put anybody on payroll. I'm saying fill out that comment card, take that receipt, go to the website, fill out a survey, make sure you mention them by name. And if their stores don't have that, like some of the dollar stores don't have that available, I don't know, buy them a Coke, buy them a bag of Skittles, just something to say thank you.
I love Skittles.
That's how you do it. Yeah.
No.
Is there some Skittles there?
Is there a particular, is there, out of the many, many hunts and videos that you've done, is there one in particular that really stands out as like kind of a really landmark or really remarkable story worthy hunting outing that you could share with us?
Let's see. I'm going to turn around for a second. Go for it.
While you think about it, can I say my favorite one? It'll take 2 seconds. Go ahead, say yours first. When you were hunting with your daughter, and she found her first super.
That's it. So you can cut all that out, Chuck, and
we'll edit that out, Chuck.
So it's definitely going to be back in 2021. It was towards the end of the year. Decided to take my daughter out, I think. And up until this point, I can't remember what case was circulating in the store. I want to say it was probably NRP case, maybe. And there were still a couple of supers that I hadn't found that year. And one of them was the J Case Porsche, the 356 Outlaw in Gulf livery. Definitely something I wanted to find. So I took my daughter out just to go take a peek around, and go figure we got to a fresh hit. And to make a long story short, we ended up pulling 2 of those out of there. She found the first one. I told her to help me look, and she was like, all right, let's go. And that was the first super that she found. I still have it, even though she doesn't collect Hot Wheels anymore. I told her I'm holding on to this one for you just in case you change your mind. But that is 110% the best moment of my diecast life. It was that right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the story I was hoping you would say, Derek.
It was amazing. I go back and I watch that episode sometimes and I start to get teary-eyed.
Yeah.
I don't know if
that's an underrated part of being a content creator, is going back and seeing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great to see the memories and, just to reflect back on those great moments. But it's also good to go back. If you're really serious about content creating, go back and watch your old stuff and see what was working and see what was not working. And then, tweak and adjust from there for your future content. It helps a lot. Don't have an ego about it. If you go back and watch your old content, or even, your episode that you uploaded last week, go back and watch it, because you can always learn from something.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, that a lot of people worry about is, well, what if it doesn't look good, or I don't want to do anything unless it looks perfect. And so, well, then it's never going to get done. You've got to build that muscle memory. You can do all the research you want. You can do all of the I need to use these keywords and I need to do this and that. But until you sit down and actually upload the video to your editor and start cutting, you're not actually going to get any better, because you've got to build that muscle memory of, all right, let's cut here, let's zoom in here, let's, this is taking too long, this is taking too short, I need to use a different music track here, or I want to, learn how to do a PNG instead of a JPEG, so I've got a nice alpha channeled graphic instead of just like a white border on everything. Yeah, the stuff that you've got to, do the research and figure out, and then actually do it and build that speed up to where you can, do all the keyboard shortcuts and all that stuff, because, and then put it out there, because then that's a whole nother realm of learning, because you could put it out there and it could do really well, or it could not do as well, and you can go, okay, well, why did this one do better than that one, and compare and contrast and learn from that. It's, there's so much that goes into it, and for a lot of people, I don't think it may be for them, but if you're willing to put yourself out there and try it, like, please, by all means, do it, and the risks are so very low for you. The worst thing that can happen until you're, north of where we are, is no one will say anything, because, everybody worries about those negative YouTube comments and the people with the bad attitudes and stuff. And you know what? We've got like 3,000 subscribers and we still don't get any of those people, because they're not paying attention to us. If you don't like it, you just kind of move on. And if a person is mean enough to leave a comment, thanks for the engagement, and move on. That person's having a bad day and they decided to take it out on you, and it's up to you what you do with that. You can just let that go and move on.
Like Derek said, he's really enjoyed doing review stuff, and I've done a lot of review stuff for detailing, and I enjoy that too, because it's like, I'm not selling it for anybody. I'm not getting paid. It's just like, I got this product. I love it. It's changed my life. It's made my job easier. It's a great product. I'm going to try to help that company out and just try to let other people know that this is a great product. But I rarely get any negative comments on those videos. I've gotten some videos on like reviews of pressure washers that occasionally you get like some kind of sour apple, but I usually have fun with it, and I give them some cheeky response, and then they laugh, and it's over. It's like, it's done.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't really care. I don't even delete them. I just like respond, So I think it's just important when you have a YouTube channel or whatever, just respond to people and be kind to them. Like, even if they're being negative or nasty, just be nice to them, and they'll never fire back at you again. They'll go away. Yeah. So, just ignore it if you can't say something nice,
Exactly.
Like when Derek, comments on my videos, I just have to ignore it because it's just hurtful.
Straight delete. Straight delete.
Cold.
Who's this?
Yeah.
But like,
honest, who?
Stemming off on like best videos, like, because I wanted to say real quick, because I've got like two of them, and some of my favorite hunting videos was with Derek down in Arizona, just getting into it and the excitement and finding supers and digging through dump bins and having like an old man come up to us and ask us where the preparation H is, like, because he thought we worked there. And that's on camera. Like, I'm pretty sure we recorded that too. I can't remember, but we were digging through a big old bin. I think it was Kroger's, right? And this old man walked up to us and said, "Hey, you guys, where's the preparation H at?" Like, because he thought we worked there because we were digging through a bin. So, because we would always get anybody who's hunted, like's been asked before, but like people just think you work there for some reason. I think you're stalking when you're like putting things back.
Why else would you be digging in that big?
Yeah. So we've, that was one of the most memorable times besides just finding supers together and stuff. But just had a lot of fun doing it, like just incredible amount of laughter. And then on my honeymoon with my wife, Kimber, she found this Gasser super, it's her first super treasure hunt. And I'll keep this forever. But she was like, the smile on her face, and she was like, like looks back at me like, is this one? And I said, yeah, like I'm just freaking out, So, and I think we found, so it's those kind of moments that You know, you're not always going to find stuff. Like, you know, Derek and I didn't find super treasure hunts when we were getting asked where the, you know, preparation H was, but we just had a good time. If you can find some friends or, you know, some people to go enjoy that with, go look at some cars and look for cars. There's going to be some frustration, but it's so fun in the process. You know, go out for lunch, go eat. When I was going with Derek, it was lack of eating. So I was like hangry the whole time because I was just hungry. And he's just like, there's no time for eating. So I'm just like, I'm like, my wife now gets hangry like really quick. And now, you know, I was my wife when we'd hunt, you know, together. So
Mark was my wife at one point.
Yeah. Like, let's eat some food.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the sheer fact that it was my daughter, that definitely would have been my favorite episodes, because we filmed when Mark came down quite a while ago, and that was the time where we didn't find anything, or we didn't find too much. Definitely no chases or anything, but we had a great time. And then we did that. That was the 2-part one, I think, because there was a part 1 and a part 2. And then you came down. Yeah. The last time you came down, yeah, we hunted hard. We hunted so
super
hard.
Treasure hunts for sure. Like a few.
Yeah, we took a long road trip. We hunted hard. We hunted far, and yeah, I was going, and you know, that was back when I was just like, we don't have time to go pee. We got to go to the next store. And he's like, dude,
well, we're peeing. They're collecting super treasure hunts.
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. So, but
yeah, when you're dead, funny though, because it's true. It's like once you hit the doors, like to one of these places, you know, and still like to this day, sometimes when I hit like a Walmart and the doors open, you just turn on the afterburners and you're just like,
yeah, that's true. I'm guilty, man. I'll be going. If I go anywhere that I know there's diecast, I always hit that first. It doesn't matter if the stuff that I'm there for is way up in the front of the store. I'm like, I'm going back there. I'm checking. Got to check. But
priorities.
Yeah. Exactly. So, you know, Derek, you're about to hit like 12,000 subscribers, which is phenomenal. I mean, congratulations. That's so cool. Yep. So, you know, doing this and keeping it going, you know, we've talked a little bit about, you know, how you see this going, but what are some of the things that you're looking forward to the most for your channel in 2024?
Probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most is not just being known as a hunting channel. I would really like to really get out there as a legitimate, you know, quality customizer channel. Obviously the model reviews, and, you know, of course still have hunting. You know, hunting is, it's fun. It's fun when you find stuff, but it's truly key to have something else diecast related that you're passionate about, whether it's, you know, dioramas, customizing and stuff. And I want to show people that I am equally as passionate about, you know, model reviews, customizing, all that stuff. How-tos. I really enjoy doing how-tos as well. I haven't done one in a while, but hopefully I can cook some up in 2024. But I enjoy that stuff just as much, if not more, than hunting now, for sure.
Fantastic. Diecast resource for the whole community. I like it.
Yeah.
Your one-stop shop for everything diecast.
For all your diecast
only
needs.
Subscribe to Honest
Diecast.
I'm not saying that. Unsubscribe to everyone else.
All right. Well, speaking of 2024, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to look back at 2023 and some of our favorite castings of the year. I know you've been waiting for this, and so have I. So stick around. All right.
Don't touch that dial. Diecast Breakdown will be right back after these messages.
This episode of Diecast Breakdown is brought to you by you. That's right. We are 100% viewer and listener supported, and we are so grateful for those of you who have already supported the podcast and the shows we're planning to add to the Diecast Media Network family. You can find out more about how to support this project by visiting diecastmedianetwork.com or email us about sponsoring an episode at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com.
Hello, this is Diecast Dude from the Netherlands, and you are watching Diecast Breakdown.
This presentation of Diecast Breakdown is brought to you by TWYCE Diecast and Datsunman Diecast on YouTube. Please visit their links in the show notes and subscribe to their channels for more epic Diecast content.
Hey, this is Champion DJK, and you're watching Diecast Breakdown.
And now, the thrilling conclusion of this week's episode of Diecast Breakdown.
Well, we are back, and we are going to be wrapping the year up in style with the cars that we like the most in 2023. We are going to be starting with Mr. David Johns. Mr. David Johns, Mr. TWYCE Diecast, take it away. Tell us what you loved in 2023.
I will do that. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, guys. Viewers, we had tons and tons of good stuff come out this year. I know that you'll agree. My picks are not going to be necessarily castings that came out in 23. I tried to do that. A lot of them are going to be brand new, but we're going to call this new to me in 23 castings. First up, from round 2, Chad and the gang absolutely nailed the Conquest, the Dodge Conquest. You guys agree, disagree? Let me know your thoughts on that. I love this casting. I think they nailed the wheels. I think they nailed the profile of the vehicle. Such a cool car, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep it moving so that we can get through all of our cars. Up next, one that you saw on Diecast Breakdown first, before it even hit the shelves, guys. The Dodge Caravan. Soccer moms getting lots of love this year. Who didn't ride in one of these as a kid? I know I did. Really appreciate the scope of the cars that round 2 is doing right now. You got 80s JDM, you got Dodge Caravans. I mean, where else are you getting that? What brands are doing that range of vehicles? NO64, one of the favorite brands on TWYCE Diecast. Incredible Jaguar XJS. What do you guys think of this little coupe? I know Rapid Nismo was all about this one.
I see some lens components.
The headlamps, Mark, are lensed, as are the tail lamps.
Wow.
No, it's a super cool car. Any car that James Bond would drive is one that I like. That definitely fits the bill for that.
You guys are practically the same person.
We are. Thank you. I'm going to go give you a twofer on this one. We have got, first, we've got Mini GT's version of the 2023 Z. This is one that's got lensed headlamps, pretty authentic wheels. I love everything about this car. I think it's got painted tail lamps. That's the only knock on it. Just kidding. Glenn and his gang nailed this one. After looking at this one, tell me what you guys think of round 2's example. This one has an opening hood. All the lamp details are painted. Wheels are still money. Badges are all perfect. Heck of a car by round 2.
Yeah.
Like we said, they've got a Mitsubishi Eclipse coming out next year. That'll be on my list already. It's got a spot reserved.
What year Eclipse?
A 1991, Mark. Thank you for asking.
Last
one.
A 1G.
1G. Last one I've got for you guys, a company called GCD did this sweet little hatchback, this Volkswagen Golf. Lensed headlamps on that. Orange interior. British racing green nearly is the color.
It's a little lighter, David.
I love it. It's a little lighter. Wheels are pretty spot on, and you get lensed headlamps and tail lamps. So those are my 5 new to me in 23 cars. I'm going to shut off the TWYCE cam and let you guys show what you guys picked up in your collections this year.
All right, Mark, take it away.
Well, I'm going to start with my 2 favorites. Start with this Tarmac Works BRE oil can. This whole series of the oil can cars is just amazing. I love things that I can just open up and take a look at it. It's got
look
a
at
nice
it,
little,
sir.
It's got
just
the nice
looking at
foam.
sir.
Just look at it. This beautiful little BRE car,
Very
number
nice.
68 here. That's a Trans Am 2.5 championship. So, yeah, I jumped on these when they came out. So, love this little guy. And then we'll jump on to another BRE. Why not?
Mark, I had no idea you liked Datsuns.
Yeah, no one really knows that.
Little known fact about Mark. Mark
fun fact.
McDotson.
Spoiler
Mark
alert.
McDotson Gillica. This one here, we've got another BRE from Tarmac Works, and this one is signed by John Morton, the race car driver. Got to meet him a few years ago at a Datsun event. Super cool guy. Drove away in a Toyota Yaris, not a 510.
As you do.
So we got to get that guy a 510. So we're like, where's your 510? He's like, nah, I don't have one.
Yoder.
We got to change that. So another cool little, I don't think we call him a hoser.
Just walk up to him and grab him by the collar and just be like, you poser.
Yeah. Poser. I thought you said hoser. Man? I was like, we weren't in Canada. You hoser?
That works too.
Hoser poser.
Let's talk about booze.
Talking about hoser. It comes with a little license plate. I tried to run this on my car, but I got pulled over and got a hoser ticket, and I had to pay it. Then
I don't believe that story.
Yeah, it's not true. We got this little Kaido House 4x4 Safari Mobile, which I plan on making into a real car. Stay tuned.
He's going to stretch it into a full-size car.
Is Mark the only guy that had to go buy a car after he bought a diecast?
I didn't.
He had to go buy the real thing and one to one.
I chose this life, David. Right?
This life chose you.
Better learn. Moving on. Rudely interrupted here. We've got another Kaido House, the Daniel Wu one, which came as a chase. So I got lucked out on that one because these are pretty hard to find. So came as a chase. So I honestly still need to go buy another one so I can get the actual, I think it's white with gold wheels. So that was a pleasant surprise there. That one?
Hey, Mark.
Yes. 40 weight? 50 weight? Next car here. There's always room for Fast and Furious quotes.
Couldn't help myself.
Got RS64 Porsche, I think it's pronounced. Derek, what is that? Is that correct pronunciation?
Porch.
I thought Porsche?
I thought it was Porsche.
Porsche. It's like borscht. It's like
yes.
beet soup. So we've got this cool little one here. It was when I bought this, true pleasure. So Adrian, you're doing a good job. I appreciate you. All right. And then we have, I'm going to do two more. I'm going big now. Then we got another Tarmac Works. They're kind of taking the cake on all the stuff here. Derek will like this one. The Pajama Hydra. Is that correct pronunciation, Derek?
Nailed it.
Oh, the Pajani. Pajamas. Chuck's just like, you ruined
pajama.
You guys are ruining the show again.
Why did I sign up for this show?
I'm not getting paid anything for this.
Chuck's like, so this is for 1 minute.
No, absolutely not. So this is one of my favorites. I'm not going to keep these because big shout out to Felix. He sent me, 4 packs of these things. They got like 16 in each one. We're going to be sending these to kids. So this is the closest I'm going to get to this car. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to ship it off to some kids that need it more than I do. And then one from David at TWYCE Diecast here, right here, up in here in the upper right corner here. Handsome man, distinguished. We've got this Passat. And Derek and I,
wow, look at that,
really love Chinese Passats. It's one of our favorite things to collect, as you can see. I don't know. I don't know if this is Chinese for new Passat or just Passat or stupid American. I don't know. I don't know what that says. Maybe you can elaborate on that, David.
Well, in China, they're just called Passats.
Passats. Okay. So
like Brazil
not
bets.
new Passat. New Passat.
You'll have to ask the guy at TWYCE Diecast that question. That's my burner account.
Yeah, I believe it. So that's it. That's enough. That's a lot of heat right there. A lot of cool cars.
That's a lot of heat.
That's all I got. That's what I got.
Nice.
All in your face.
I'm gonna go through mine pretty quick. It was, as a Malays lover, this was the year for me. As David pointed out, the Conquest and the minivan from round 2, absolutely killer. Another Malays car that I love is this 1980 AMC Eagle that Matchbox released. It's one of my favorite cars for a long time. It is the granddaddy of the SUVs that are all over the road now. Way ahead of its time, both above and below its own quality. But yeah, they're just just so wild that this was a thing that happened. They took like this Hornet wagon and jacked it up and put 4-wheel drive on it and wood paneling on the sides and called it a day. And it's finally getting some love in 1/64 scale. And I love that. Another one from the big
remember
guys.
the last time in real life, Chuck. When's the last time any of you saw?
There's actually one just showed up at our Cars and Coffee locally, and it was beautiful. It was a time capsule, very rare. But when the thing was their bodies were actually pretty rust resistant. It was just the engineering underneath them was terrible, so people would just junk them because it had AMC build quality wiring and engines. But anyway, but they were surprisingly good with their bodies, like as far as rust prevention goes. Another Malaysia car is this 1973 Plymouth Duster from Hot Wheels that came out as the drag racing series. It's kind of a modified. It's got this crazy snorkel on it, which I don't love that much, but it's got that great 1973 Plymouth Duster grill. Very nice outing from Hot Wheels. Speaking of Hot Wheels, love their Hollywood series this year, especially this Jaws Blazer that Chief Brody drove in the movie, 1975 Chevy Blazer. That was actually the inspiration for the Stranger Things Blazer, which you saw I built one of those this year.
Yeah.
Keeping it in the truck family, M2 had a square body, and they made it even better by turning it into a quad cab. And I think it's just amazing to have one of these in something close to a true 1/64 scale, so you really kind of get the idea of how big these things really were. Just crazy long bed with a quad cab. You put it up next to something like this Para 64 Galant, and you just kind of see how massive these things were. Just a much longer vehicle, almost twice as long as this Galant from Para 64, which was another one that I loved. We really much enjoyed having Adrian on the show, and Para 64 is a great brand to keep an eye on. You got lensed stuff, which Mr. David Johns likes, and it's just kind of a random,
he doesn't like it.
80s,
he loves
80s, 90s 4-door car, which you don't get enough of. Also, very interesting to me because it had mud flaps built into it, and not too many cars come with mud flaps, which I thought was very cool. Auto World, since David took all of the ones that I wanted to take, I will give them props for this 3000 GT that came out. It is a very, very cool car. And the thing with round 2 that not a lot of people notice is their chassis are incredible for the money. They are not painted, but if you look at them, they look like a real car underneath. So if you want to get out your detailing paints, you could very easily turn this into an incredibly realistic car, even with the lack of lensed headlamps and stuff. But again, the price point, you can't beat it for the price point. These things are in Walmart for less than $6. I don't know how they do it. So going back to our friends across the... Oh, go ahead.
So that's cheap in this economy.
It is cheap. It's cheap in just about any economy. Going back to the premium ones, just for a few bucks more, you can get great stuff like this Dodge van from Tarmac Works, which I really, really enjoy because we had Dodge vans in my family, and I love the crazy drifting that's being done in Japan with these old Dodge vans, and they did a bang-up job on this vehicle. Lensed headlamps, true 1/64 scale, great custom wheels on it, great graphics with the taped-up headlamps. Just a very cool car overall. I will give a shout out to Greenlight for this really cool. They've been doing brick nose Ford trucks, the mid 80s Ford trucks with the very flat fronts on them. And this is Bigfoot 3, which was the one that I grew up watching, Bigfoot 3 and Bigfoot 4. So this is kind of before they started adding the red and yellow stripes on these things, the true blue Ford trucks back when they were built on a real Ford truck chassis, and they just did a dynamite job on this. I get so much nostalgia from this truck in particular, but they've done a lot of really great stuff with the brick nose lately. And one more before my grand finale car, which was an unexpected one for me because I don't usually go for them. But this one, again, another Dodge van from Hot Wheels. Brendan Vituski designed this custom 70s van with the 4 opening doors. I'm normally not an opening door guy, but this thing displays great with the doors open. And I was very lucky to be able to get in there and get one for me and one for my brother, and just kind of share the family van customization gene. Something maybe we'll do with our kids. I don't know. And finally, the car that really captured my attention this year was this Pop Race Singer Porsche 911. And it is just absolutely beautiful in a Tiffany blue. Beautiful wheels. Just the details on this. It feels like I actually handle this one delicately because it feels like I'll crush it because it feels so real. Like, as far as like, it feels like it would have very thin metal on it. It does have a good weight to it. It does have a plastic base.
Weighty.
But sitting on the shelf, they got the proportions so right on this thing. And the lens headlamps and turn signals and everything are absolutely beautiful on it. It sings like a singer. And I have to give props to Mr. David Johns on that one, because I got it from AliExpress, and I would have never thought until I saw his videos that you could buy anything safely on AliExpress. And it turns out you can. You can buy lots of stuff safely on AliExpress. And that's sometimes the only place you can find some of these things like Pop Races and X-Car toys and stuff like that. So, if you've been thinking about looking for something new and unique, go check those out. There's a lot of great stuff out there, and X-Car toys and Pop Race are two brands that I think a lot of people are sleeping on, because in that, $10 to $12 space, they can't be beat. Those are my picks for 2023. Derek's going to take it home with the grand finale here. So bring it, Derek.
With pleasure.
He doesn't have any.
But first, Chuck,
once you're done, I'm choking down your water.
Right. What do you think about that piece, Chuck?
That is a very nice piece.
Can you see it?
I see
You
it.
immediately came to mind because, I did a review on this for Diecast 164, and the weathering on it made me immediately think of you.
Well,
it's
thank
like
you.
a race one. It's kind of.
I do like their.
A lot too.
They Auto World really nailed it with when they do weathering. They do weathering really well. They did a weathered Christine that was incredible, fantastic. When you see Christine at the beginning of the movie and she's all rough and ready, they did a fantastic job. So, that's very flattering of you to say thank you. But yeah.
Keep it PG-13.
Okay, here we go. Well, thanks, Chuck. I'll get into my 5. My last one, my 5th part, is going to probably surprise you that it's my 5th and not my 1st. But I brought both examples of this car, and I think it's fantastic. We're talking about the Mark II Supra.
Yeah.
That came out in 2023 J and K case. Yeah. And supercharger hump for J. And this is my favorite Super for 2023, even more so than the 935 Porsche, which came in K case.
Derek, when you saw that Super before it came out, did you think it was going to be as hot as it ended up being?
I knew it was going to be hot. I did not know it was going to be this hot.
Lightning,
like lightning hot. Like, beyond surface of the sun hot. We're talking lightning hot. They just did such a good job on this. I don't know if you guys ever paid attention to the rear tampos. You probably won't be able to see it, but the rear tampos, or the taillights and the Toyota Supra badging, is like spot on. It's like generation like specific. It looks like this car got shrunk down 1/64th and got put in this package. Hey, shut your lips when you're talking to me. Got it? So anyway, this is my one and only Hot Wheel on my list, believe it or not. So that's number 5. Number 4, this is my second favorite rendition of this car. I don't have my first favorite rendition of this car, but it is the same car, just different livery. But it's going to be the Kaido House wide body R34. So this is the blue Nismo, which is my second favorite. My favorite is the brand new release, which is the Hornet, the black one that just came out. That one is absolutely beautiful. And I don't have that one in hand yet, but so many people can attest that have purchased these. Mark, I don't know if you have any of these or not. Do you have any of these ones?
I don't yet. I still have to buy those in the Silverados. Like, I don't have the Arthur. There's like a purple.
So the knock on opening hoods is sometimes it doesn't lay flat. Did they nail it? Does it lay flush?
I think I've opened, yeah. I think I might have had a little tiny bit of trouble with one of my 510s, but nothing serious. Just had to push it closed and maybe pinch it, but that's like it. Maybe like some paint hang up on the hinge or something. That's like the best I can think of. But
good.
Chuck, I think you're talking about this one. You must be talking about that one. Purple? That one?
No, I was talking about it.
Yeah, Mark was talking
Kaido
about it.
Or
But
Mark, you were talking about that. Sorry.
Yeah, my name is not
Yeah,
Chuck.
that one's fabulous too.
Yeah.
Derek.
Shark. I'm talking to you, Shark.
Shark.
You're a hybrid Mark and Chuck.
I've been called Shark before.
Hybrid Mark and Chuck. You're Shark.
He said something interesting, so he just assumed it was something I said.
Ooh, hey, ho,
Hey, ho, ha,
Very
ha.
well, very well put.
Fire.
Everything's pretty spicy.
Very
End
well
of
put.
the year
Yeah.
off. Spicy episode.
We're
For anyone
wrapping the year
tuning
up.
in,
Everybody's
tune in for the
airing their
spiciest
laundry.
episode.
There's your thumbnail.
But yeah, that's number 4. But I wish it was the Hornet, but that's my second favorite of that particular card. Third, moving on to the goodness. What do you think it is, David?
Saturn.
Not quite that good. I don't have any of those. I can't afford them.
I don't think anyone's
Top 3 have got to be Porsches.
Oh wait, is
Could
this
be a
no?
Porsche.
Hang on. Is this
Okay.
the Time Micro Supra? No. Okay, they did a
No.
Liberty Walk white one.
I think Chuck's the only person here that knows me.
I mean, it's a safe bet to say Porsche, but I
Yeah,
thought you were going
Porsche.
to throw us a
What do you-
curveball here.
Anyone
David and
that-
I are just ruining everything with spoilers this time.
Probably some kind of 9-3.
Remind never to take you guys to the movies.
Yeah.
Hey, you shut your
Shut your mouth.
Number 3.
He was dead the whole time.
Number 3 is going to be the Tarmac Works
935.
RWB 964 John
964.
Nice.
Siebel. I think I'm saying that right.
Sabal, is that it?
Yes, a ball.
It's Siebel. I'm not sure.
Seaballs.
We heard Felix say it the other day on a live. Yeah, that's man. Look how cool that is, man.
It's gorgeous.
It's so good.
Gorgeous.
It's so good. It's so clean too. Just really reminiscent of the Hot Wheels 934 RSR turbo. Just 1,000 times better. But I am looking forward to putting one of these in the stripper and doing my own rendition of this in a 934 RSR. But that's number 3.
You put dollars in the stripper, not Porsches.
Right.
Oh, this is
That's it.
Diecast breakdown after hours.
We're so tired.
Stop listening to that. We told you can't listen to Diecast Breakdown. Those guys are nasty.
Yeah,
Here's how we get our explicit tag.
You can't listen to Diecast Breakdown.
demonetized this.
Turn that off.
Don't cut any of this out, Chuck.
It's all going in.
I'm sure we won't.
It's all going in.
It's all going in.
That's what she
This
said.
is quality content here.
That's what he said.
Oh, why?
Okay.
Sorry, Mama.
Number 1 and number 2. Honestly, they're both within.
You said
Number
sorry,
2.
Mom and Dad.
We can't get 30 seconds.
I'm so
All right.
sorry. So tired.
He said
All right.
number 2.
Okay, back on track.
All
Take
right.
3.
These last 2 are technically both my number 1 because I can't pick one. But number 2, I guess, is going to be the Porsche 911 GT3 R in the Gulf livery, Capa Florio.
Mm-hmm.
Mamma mia.
Got an abundance of Tarmac Works.
This
here.
is by far my favorite 991 GT3R that Tarmac has done. And I'm not a big Gulf collector, but this thing just looks so good. It is just
Black rims.
It's so perfect. Yeah, but two of the spokes just in the back are orange.
Yep.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Doesn't
See
get
it,
any
man.
doesn't get any more real than that.
If that's number 2, there's about to be a monster coming out for number 1.
Well, David, this car might look pretty familiar.
What?
I'm actually,
No, it's a
I was actually
Saturn.
kind of thinking about you and Chuck when I picked this one. Yeah, it's close. This one needs no introduction.
Oh, yeah.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Iconic.
Well done.
Apple
well done.
computer. Yeah,
The fact that somebody, let alone Tarmac, but nowadays it's no surprise when Tarmac is first to the punch on anything. They're going to be the first ones to make a 992 GT3R, which I am beyond excited about. But the fact that they came out with the 935 K3 Creamer, my goodness.
You like the good stuff.
Just
spin
epic.
it. Give it a spin, sir.
Epic. Look at that.
That's incredible.
The turbo detail is just ridiculous.
Just
It's one of my
because
favorite.
David made
my
one of those as
favorite.
a custom doesn't mean that he owns it. Okay, it's not that big of a deal.
Hey,
I like those
did
before
a hell of-
David did.
he did a hell of a job.
Thank you,
He
Derek.
did a hell of a job, and Chuck
Why'd you
did a
say it
hell
like
of a
that?
job doing the race weather on it.
Thank you. That was such a fraught project too, because the decals had to be replaced, and they came from England, and then we lost part of the car, and there was so many headaches behind the scenes on that one.
Kind
Well,
word,
you should-
Derek. Man, that was a heck of a pick. I love that carbon.
I figured you might appreciate that one.
Definitely.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
So,
Chuck.
nice.
Too bad you didn't wait like a year and a half, 2 years to do that.
I
wedding.
know that would have made it so much easier.
Now they're
But,
everywhere. now Apple decals are everywhere now. So
I know, right?
it's crazy.
Well, I mean, and shout out to Chris at SK75 Works for doing it first and doing a beautiful job on those as well. And I just finished doing an unboxing of my latest order from him because he's back in business. And I just got some more decals from him, and they are outstanding, like absolutely better than ever. And I'm just glad that there's people out there like him doing this stuff and doing the diorama kits that he does, and his stuff is absolutely worth. There are a few things I hate more than paying for shipping, and he's one of the few people that I will gladly pay shipping for because his stuff is worth it, and you can just tell that this is what he loves to do because there's so much effort that goes into the packaging and the instructions, and everything does not look like something that this guy is doing in his basement, which is more or less what is happening. But he makes it look like this stuff is mass produced, graphic design made the instructions, everything looks and feels professionally printed. You're not getting, like this doesn't look like it came out of somebody's inkjet and drew it up in Notepad or something. Like it's beautifully done. So those are excellent picks, everybody. Again, I think it was Isaac Newton that said that there's never been a better time to be in the diecast hobby.
Yeah,
and
I stole that from him.
I know I heard it somewhere. Newton. But and I think these picks are evidence of that. It doesn't matter where on the price map you are. We've got picks that are $1 and picks that are, $50 or $60, $100 for marks, I think. But just amazing stuff at every price point. And we're so excited that we're closing out another year and that we've got another great one ahead for all of us and our various content projects. And again, I want to thank Derek for joining us. It's been a pleasure having him on the show. I think he's rivaling Fireball at this point for the number of appearances on the show. I think you guys are tied now, so we're going to have to get a smoking jacket for Derek for the special members only smoking jacket. And but yeah, thanks Derek for being here, and thank you to everyone who's watching, listening, wherever you are. Again, shout out to our patrons who make things go. And if you want to know more about that, you can visit diecastbreakdown.com. Remember, Driven Dreams is still a thing. It's still happening. And be sure to check out drivendreams.org. It's twice as nice. And you're twice as nice for being here and liking and subscribing and all that stuff. And listening to us as we get slap happy at this end of the year episode. We're so grateful to you and so grateful to the folks that make this go behind the scenes, Justin, Kimber, and of course my amazing co-hosts David and Mark for putting up with all this nonsense as we try to put this together every week and running on fumes sometimes, but we get it done. But we're so grateful you're here, and as always, we want to thank you for coming along with us for the ride. So until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Stay cheese, fresh bags.
Fantastic. Love what I do.
Stay bags,
Stay bags,
cheese
fresh.
Please, cheese fresh.
Thanks for listening to Diecast Breakdown. If you enjoyed today's show, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and tell a friend to listen in. Find Diecast Breakdown on your favorite social media platforms or visit diecastmedianetwork.com to learn more about this and our other projects. Diecast Breakdown is a presentation of Flying Valiant and the Diecast Media Network.